Alright guys, I'm going to finish up with the arms and then I'm going to show you how to submit your project. So, let me just double check something. Alright, okay. So, I'm gonna open up the Maya software first, as always. Okay. And while that's going about, oh no, whoops, I opened the wrong version. Let me close that out. Force quit. Open Maya 2018. Alright. Alright, so the next thing I need to do, I need to set my project folder. As soon as, let me wait for Maya to finish this up. Alright, there we go. So I'm going to go to File, Set Project. Mine I ended up saving in the Documents tab. Yeah. So I'm going to double click on where I saved that project folder. So my last name, first name, final project. I'm going to hit Set. Now I'm going to open Scenes. I'm going to go to my latest iteration of the project, which would be this one, 0.003. And if you look at the timestamp, you can find the latest by the date. So this is November 21st. All the others are the 14th. So I'm going to open this one. I'm going to hit Don't Save. I'm going to hit Continue. Ignore that. Okay, close. Maybe later see where that gives me. I'm gonna hit OK. Alright, so I've blocked everything out. So I've polished, or not polished, this isn't polished, but in my animation, in my graph editor, I've gone and I've cleaned up the curves where the Y of contact is higher than the downs, which these are all my down poses right here that are highlighted. These are all my contacts. I've made them the same height so that way it doesn't look too wonky. You know, if things are moving at different heights, it's going to look like the person's walking on a limp. And since this isn't a personality walk, we're going to make those the same. Actually, I'm going to make the same here, all these values. These are the Y values for my passing poses, the ones that are the second highest. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to type in -20, so that way they're all the same value. And just making sure the curves are nice and smooth. For walk cycle, you're going to need that. And I'll just make these 1.12. There we go. So now he's got the same kind of cadence going on. That's probably the best word to describe this, the cadence. Alright, I'll double check. This is looking good. This is good for the reason that it's a continuous forward motion, kind of like the Y equals mxb, the slope and all of that. It's the same concept here. You have this nice, even forward movement. So there's no hiccups here. So you just want that translate Z, that forward motion of the body, to be nice and smooth. The rotate Y is nice. Again, we've gone over this in the past videos. Just going to take this and just make sure that the tangents, the handles, are following the line of the curve. So it just makes it for a more smooth value. This handle. So I'm selecting the key that I want to manipulate. I drag select the handle. And I just press W and click and move. And do the same thing for this one. Just so it's not easing in these values. Alright. Rotate X is the same. Good. Good. Okay. So that, and I'm scrubbing through. Once I've made manipulations, I look to see, I scrub through and see how it looks. So the hips are looking pretty good, actually. They're yeah, a little more. If I had the time and I want to go back and perfect this a little bit more, I would decrease on that rotate Z because it's looking more feminine than the walk that you see in the video. Just because it's a vanilla walk, you want it to show as minimal personality as possible for the vanilla. If this was a character, then yeah, that's fine. But yeah. Okay. We have some knee pops, but at this point. So again, just smoothing out. Alright, so now I'm going to go to the arms right here. Don't worry about too much about the fingers, but if you want to do, just take, I'm going to shift select just the three outer, the three outer fingers. I'm just going to rotate them in a little bit so they're a little bit more natural, and same with this. And then I'm going to select all of these and hit S. And then I'm going to go to my animation editor, graph. And that's not it. Or is it? Oh, there we go. Sorry, my graph editor did not update itself. There we go. And I'm just going to delete the keys that are not sticking out. I'm going to select them and delete them. So now it'll stay in this position. So if you notice, it's not going back to the default because we set keys with the default pose. So that's all I did. And I'll do the same thing here. I'm going to select the three outer fingers. I'm going to press E to rotate, and this curve, this circle that I want the direction of that rotation to be, I'm going to just move them in a little bit. Just so that they're nice and a little bit more relaxed. If you notice, his fingers are pretty bent in there. And I'll just take this one and move that one in a little bit. Just so that they're not too robotic looking. So now I'm going to select all these finger curves. Do not select the wrist curve, that control. I'm going to go to my animation editor, graph, and again, did it not save? It did not save. Whoops, okay, I'm going to redo that again. I did not press S. So I'm going to try it one more time. Select the outer curves, rotate them in, press S, same thing here, S. Okay, now I'm going to select the finger curves. There we go. So I'm shift selecting all of these, of just the fingers, not the wrist. Alright, so if you look at it, it's looking way more natural now. Alright, so now I'm gonna go to the ARM controls. Windows, animation, graph, editor. And I'm just going to, whatever's sticking out, I'm gonna select it. I'm gonna hit delete and see if it's doing anything wrong to my, so, and then here I have pop. Aha, I found it. So I'm gonna select this curve. There we go, and delete it. So anything that's giving me like an issue, I'm just gonna select it and delete it. So that way, I still have it there. Or that might be the Y. Here we go, found it. Alright, so right here, you select it and hit delete. And I might go back to the rotate Z and just see if moving this, so now I want this forward. So I'm going to move this a little bit to the side. Delete. Ugh. There we go. Delete. And since this is the last of the curves, I'm actually going to push this forward. So it's a little bit more similar to how it ended. So again, I'm going to scrub through. Might come further in. There. All right. Again, I'm going to go to the rotate Y's are looking good. And I'll just make these at 0. Let me go. Bring these a little bit down. Delete this one. Bring this one to the side. All right. Delete this one. It looks like it's hiccuping there. Okay, so I'll scrub through. And I'm not playing for the timing, I'm playing for the spacing, just making sure that there's no hiccups. Because then later on, I can always increase the timing by moving certain keys closer to each other or further apart. Alright, And then I'll just double check rotate X is looking good. All right, so now I'll go to rotate Y. Okay, so I'm kind of, since this is coming forward, it's gonna bend just a little, and I'm gonna select this key, I'm gonna delete it, just so this is nice and round. I'm gonna delete this one. And I don't know, I don't know about this one yet. And then this will come up forward a little bit. I might do just this one. There we go. And then this key right here. Just so that I'm kind of creating as smooth of an arc here as possible. Nope, not that one. Oops. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to scrub through now. Good, I like it. Okay. Then I shouldn't have much for rotate D. I'm going to delete these because it's probably really not helping. Especially since everything else was fine before. And again, here as well. Again, I'll just scrub through. Good. And now the wrist, which is mostly going to be rotate Y is the big one. So here, I'm going to start creating a more natural pose right here. And then delete this key. So I'm also, as I'm manipulating or deleting a key, I make sure you're on that frame that you're deleting so you see the change and see if that was needed. So I'm going to bring this key to the left and increase that value because it's going to stay nearly pretty much in that pose as it's moving forward, if you notice. So, all right. Oh, yeah. And I might even take this key right here, move it to the side, and a little bit more bring up the value right here. So then it'll, yeah. Yeah, and I'll delete this key. And then I'm going to keep this key down. Yeah. Good, I like it. I dig it. All right. And I'll just quickly do a little, make sure the shoulders are looking good. This is mostly rotate Y and Z. So rotate Y is that twist forward of the clavicle, and rotate Z is typically rotating it up, like from the side view. So yeah. All right, so I'll just go ahead. I'm gonna delete this key because that way it has a nice, again, smooth arc, and I'll move this one a little further up. Delete this key. Yeah. Yeah, something good. And then I will delete this key because it hasn't fully gone forward yet, that twist. And then Let's see. Coming forward. I'm going to delete this key so it has some room to rotate back. There we go. Good. I might delete this one too. Alright, the road's easy here. So you're kind of finding like a general pattern here. It's kind of like a scatter plot. And just deleting the ones that are a little too askew, so maybe just from rotating. Okay. This one. It's not symmetrical like the hips, but that's fine because these are arms. A little bit more. Yeah, this is looking good. So I'll move on to the next arm. I'm going to start with the shoulder again. Make sure your translate should be 0 for these shoulder controls here. You really shouldn't be moving them because this does not look natural. But from the joints of your shoulders and your elbows, those are all rotations from that point. It's just that ends up being the pivot point for those controls. So make sure just to use rotations for these arms. No translating. So I'll do rotate X for right now. Delete. Delete this. Move this a little bit further. I have something sticking out, I feel, but I'm going to have to fix it later and just move this out first. So I'll delete this key. Solder. Alright, let me go to rotate Y. I think that'll, or rotate, yeah. So rotate Z. Okay, So let me skip Y for right now and go to Z because this is the one. Move this up. Next. Okay. Delete. I'll move this key up and I think I just mess around to something I shouldn't have. And this forward. Okay, that's looking better already. Oh yeah, okay, okay. Alright. Okay, at least I'm not going to do this. We go to my camera, make sure, okay, good. Okay, go back to rotate Z. I'm going to select this one. Take this. And delete this key. There we go. So, delete this key. Yeah. Delete this key. Move this one a little bit further this way. I'm going to select these two keys and these two keys and move them up a little bit. And delete this key as well. I have a pop still. It might be with the elbow too. And this one. And delete C. This one. Lower it just a little bit. And this one up. Okay, I'm going to go to rotate Y. I'm going to bring this down. Make sure to accent, it's missing something there. see how. Okay. Well, anyways, going back to rotate Y. Take this one, and decrease it. Ooh, I think that's going to solve it too. I'm going to select this one since it's sticking out a lot. And delete this one as well. And that's helping it too. Okay. So sometimes when you're rotating, it's affecting the other values. So if you're trying to rotate X, it's going to affect your rotate Y. So, again, as you clean up those curves, it's going to make a difference. Take this one, delete it. It should be good now. It shouldn't have, yeah, oh, okay. That really solved it. So I had like one peaking up way too high in the rotate Ys. So that's going to create, again, a hiccup. If it's like a roller coaster. If you have something that like jerks all the way up really fast, it's not going to be a smooth ride. But versus these arcs in that roller coaster makes it for a smoother coaster. The curvier, the smoother it is. Alright, this should be good. Yeah. Way better, much different. So now I'm going to go to the rotate Y for this. And you can kind of see where the hiccups would be. So right here. So I'm going to select this curve. I'm going to delete it. I also have like, let's see, rotate axis. Yep, here we go. Okay, I'm going to take all these and I'm going to zero them out. The rotate axis only. So I've zeroed out the rotate axis, yeah. So they were twisting when really your elbow does not twist. Your wrist does, but you cannot really twist. The major rotation of the elbow is the bend. And really when you start adding some other rotations in that elbow, you're going to get like those hiccups, like I did. So do as I say and not as I do. But yeah. This is mostly done. You just got to get that, the elbow and the wrist done. So for the most part, the rest of this is pretty close to. So I can select this one, add a slight bend to it, and make this one a little higher. Delete. Good. Just holding it out, okay, and then right. And I'm going to select this curve. It's just so it. Okay. Good. I'll look at the rotate Z. I think I just need to delete this. What did I do on this one? Sometimes it helps to see what you did on other. Oh, no, we're going to zero them out. So I'm going to take the rotate Z, take all these, and zero them out. So in the right box, I'm going to type in 0. Hit enter. Okay, so I'm going to scroll through, see if that. Okay. He's got some swag, a little bit. It's all good. Alright, so again, I'm going to focus on the rotate Y here in the wrist control. So, right around. Alright, so first I'm going to start at the beginning. Very good place to start. Rotate. So where you can see it and not be. Okay. Let's see. So we'll bring this one actually up. So it matches more of 35 point. So we're typing 36 here. 35. just so it's kind of ending at the same type of pose that it started with. And this will be this one. Okay. So we can probably go back once more. That should be, sorry. Okay, back to the wrist. Alright, rotate Y. Still have an issue here. I'm going back to the shoulder. Might add a key in here. Press S. Okay. No, I'm not gonna go crazy over it. All right. Oh, okay. Good to rotate Z here. Okay. Let's delete. Move this to the side, and I'll delete this. That should. And now I can go back to the rotate Y. I'm gonna take this curve, bring it forward. Oh, okay, that's looking better. All right. Take this one and delete it. So now it's again. Oh, there we go. Okay, we solved it. Yay! All right. I just had like an issue with the rotate Z in the wrist, and there's some weird issues there. Something that happens. See. All right. All right. So let's say I'm done. I want to render. Not render. I'm gonna play blast this out. There's several things you need to make sure. Make sure in the render tab, viewport 2.0 is selected. What you're also going to do, if you notice these little icons where my mouse is, you're going to select this little circle and like squared like, if I can zoom in, that would be great. But right here, this little icon, you got a half a circle that's blue and half a pixelated circle. This is just to like make sure that you're not getting any aliasing in your render or your play blast, so like things won't be pixelated. If you notice, here I'll zoom into the camera so you can see it better. You see all these little jagged edges at the edge of the model, so that's aliasing, and so we want to take that away so it smooths out some of those lines, so it makes it a little bit more finessed. The next one you're going to select is ambient occlusion, which is this white circle with the blue shadow right here where my mouse is. I'm going to select that just to add like a little default occlusion to it. Alright. And now under show, because we want to hide the curves and the image plane, we just want to focus on the body. So we're going to, under show, we're going to deselect NURBS curve, and then go to show again, deselect image plane. The moment I find it, I always have trouble finding it. Oh my gosh. No, not planes. Nope. Okay, I'm gonna find it. There's no one. Ah, here we go. Right under cameras. So under cameras, show image planes, deselect. So now you have a cleaner setup. All right. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna turn on the film gate for right now before I do before I play blast it. I just want to set up my camera so where it starts and it ends at a good point. So I'm gonna look at, see where it looks like in the end. Okay, good. Okay, that's a good composition right there. The only thing I'm going to do is nothing. Actually, I'm just going to now deselect the film gate, which is right here, the square with the circle. So that way, when I render, it'll take up all that I framed up. So I'm going to go to the dialog box for Play Blast. I'm going to rename this Benitez last name final for perspective. Make sure encoding should be H.264. Custom should be display size should be custom at least 1280 by 720. Make sure the scale is 1. Frame padding is 4. That's fine. And make sure save to file is checked so that way you can be able to give it a name file. And then you're going to hit Play Blast. And that's your walk cycle. I do have like one massive like pop there. Yeah. So there you go. So I've saved the perspective. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my orthographic. I'm going to go to the left one camera that I created. And I'm going to, under show, I'm going to hide grid, because that's why you saw that gray like mesh over it. And if you didn't see it, it's okay. I'm going to go to the Play Blast. I'm going to go right click on my timeline, the box for Play Blast again, and I'm just going to change the naming convention to side. And I'm going to hit Play Blast. So that's a side view. And then I'm going to do a forward. Forward's going to look a little wonky. I already know, but that's okay. Alright, so I'm going to go to, yeah, see, that's bugging me. Alright. I'm going to go to the box for Play Blast. Again, change the side to front. And all of these videos, yeah, I guess not too. Yeah, that's like the left side looks good. Woo! That right side is, I don't know. One way you can do it is you can copy the curves of the left side to the right, but then you have to negative scale them in a way because it's the opposite side. And then also you have to it's weird. I think with more practice in animation, I would recommend doing something like that. But since this is our first steps into the waters of animation, I'm gonna say go with the blocking method and just rotate one axis at a time, and just be careful with stuff like that. But see, even we all run into those problems. It's pretty normal. So now I have the front, side, and perspective. So I'm gonna save this first off. Save scene as, or actually I'm gonna close that. I'm gonna increment save. File, increment, and save. Continue. Great, it's done. So this is saved. So if I go to where I have that project folder, which I know I've saved mine in my Maya Documents tab under projects. If I go to that file under movies, and here we go. So these three, 1, 2, 3. I was working on this in some other, or 1, 2, and 3. These 3 videos are going to Canvas. So those are the videos you're uploading. And then once you're done and saving everything, then you bring this whole project folder, the one that we created through Maya, this whole thing. So you should be able to see all these subtabs when you've created that project folder. And if I go to scenes of that folder, I have all the files that I've made animating. Those .ma files should be in those scenes tab. So again, it's the end of the year, so I should be able to open these files when you upload them to Google Drive. I do look through your files, so please make sure to do that. So this whole project folder, you're going to copy, and then you're going to go to your Google Drive, under shared with me, your class folder should be there. But mine is here because I created the folder. I'm going to go to Final Project. And I'm going to paste it in there. Alright? So right click and you paste your project folder into, well, not paste, sorry. You're going to have to click and drag. I always forget this. You can't. Google Drive needs to work on that, pasting into Google Drive, but apparently we can't. So, yeah, can't, dang it. So, I'm going to open up the File Explorer or Finder, and I'm going to drag and drop this here. And so that's what you would do. So that whole folder goes into there. Alright. Well, that's all I have to say about that. Best of luck. Any questions, go ahead and email me. All the best. Take care.